Now, I think it's safe to say that for most of us in an ideal world, we would have all the time we could wish for to get our training in. But in reality, for most of us, we're pressed for time. We need to find ways to be as efficient as possible with our training. So what if I was to tell you that 60 minutes was plenty of time to get a good bike ride in? I'm sure that has perked a few ears up. So today I'm going to explain how to get the most out of a 60-minute ride. Now clearly we are limited for time, so we need to be smart to get the most bang for our buck from this session, and that starts with the warm-up. And one of the most common and biggest mistakes here is, because we are limited for time, is we shorten the warm-up right down, or we go hard right from the door. Now, as tempting as this may seem, in actual fact, even for some super short, intense workouts, it is still really important that we do a nice long and gradual warm-up to really prepare ourselves for the workout to get the most out of it. And this warm-up can start even before we get onto the bikes. I know we are time crunched, but even just 2 or 3 minutes, just some quick activation exercises such as some lunges, some squats, can just help to prepare us and get our muscles primed and ready for the workout ahead. And then when we are onto the bike, we want to at least do around 10 to 15 minutes of just a gradual warm-up. So starting off a nice easy intensity, a nice high cadence, quick turnover, and then gradually increase the effort throughout that warm-up until we get to the workout, and maybe even include a couple of short efforts in to prep ourselves for that workout ahead. Okay, so you're warmed up, you're ready to get cracking. Before we do that, let's pause for a second and run through a couple of considerations so that we're clever as possible when it comes to this hour of power. So firstly, the location. Now, if you live in a relatively rural setting, as we are lucky to do here, then the likelihood is you're able to find some roads pretty much from your doorstep and get going. However, if you live in a more suburban setting, a busier part of the world, well, chances are this may be a little more tricky for you. You may have stop signs, traffic lights, so on and so forth, that are going to prevent you from just getting going with the workouts. You might need to be more creative. Perhaps it's purely taking left-hand turnings or right-hand turnings so that you're avoiding crossing the traffic. Or maybe it's just resorting to the indoor trainer. It's a very good use of time, get the best bang for your buck without being disrupted at all. And in fact, even if you do live in a rural setting, as I do myself, jump on the trainer is, as I've said, a very efficient use of time and allows you to just crack on with your training. Of course, there is no right or wrong answer here, so do whatever works for you in your setting, wherever you live, and feel free to mix up with both indoor or outdoor if you like. Right, so I set the ground rules, you're warmed up and you're ready to get stuck into the meat of the session. But as you probably expected, I've got a few options for you here. So to start with, we've got some intervals that are designed to improve your fitness ceiling. In other words, your VO2 max, which are essentially your zone 5 efforts. So these are going to be tough and will require some adequate recovery days after. But if you commit to these, give them your all and do one of these week in, week out, I guarantee you're going to see some gains. So first up, we have some all-out maximum efforts of 30 seconds with 3 minutes recovery between. Begin with aiming to do as many as possible, but ideally at least 6 to 8, and building up to a maximum of 12 reps with time. Sprints such as these are a great way to ratchet your VO2 upwards, and even seasoned riders will feel an improvement over even just a 4-week commitment to these efforts. And then we have another variation of this session, but now really dialing into that zone 5 or VO2 effort that I mentioned before. And whilst these will be extremely hard and guaranteed to generate a lot of fatigue, mark my word, they are hugely beneficial. Although these would ideally range from anywhere between 3 to 8 minutes in length if you had more time available. But since we're working with a limited hour, I like to start with a little less, something like 3 lots of 3 minutes with equal recovery, and then repeat the set after an extra 5-minute break in between. The intensity of these VO2 reps sits between 106 to 120% of your FTP, or greater than 106% of your corresponding heart rate. And then over a period of a number of weeks, a progression I like to work towards is a blend of both of these workouts combined into a 10-minute block of work. It starts with 3 lots of 20 seconds all-out sprints with 40 seconds recovery into a 3-minute VO2 or zone 5 effort, then 4 minutes of recovery to complete the set before repeating through 3 to 4 times, depending on how adapted you've become. Right, now moving on to a completely different kind of workout, one that can nicely complement these previous Zone 5 VO2 workouts and even performed in the same week. They are Zone 3 tempo workouts. I often like to refer to these as fun, fast workouts because they aren't quite as uncomfortable and inflict quite as much pain as those previous Zone 5 workouts, but they are a little bit more than just simply ambling along on your bike. They provide something for you to focus on and have a huge training benefit. Okay, so as a guide, tempo effort sits at around 74 to 90% of your FTP and 84 to 94% of your maximum heart rate. Some example blocks of tempo that you can build to over time could be 3 to 4 lots of 6 minutes tempo, 4 minutes easy recovery between, then building to 2 to 3 lots of 10 minutes tempo with 5 minutes easy recovery between, and then even building to 2 lots of 15 minutes tempo with 8 minutes easy recovery between. And finally, we have hills. Now, if you are lucky enough to live near a hill or you live near some rolling terrain, then I would really suggest you embrace that and make the most of it because it's fantastic for building strength. If you don't, well, that's fine. You can still simulate this on the indoor trainer. You can increase the resistance, or if you have access to some virtual platforms such as Zwift or Sufferfest, then you can actually simulate this on there. Perhaps whack yourself on Alpe d'Huez Zwift because that's a brilliant course and you definitely will be working hard on there. Now, if you can find yourself a hill of around 4 to 5 minutes in duration, ride hard on the up, somewhere around your threshold, about an 8 out of 10, and then turn around, recover on the way back down, maybe a minute or so spin on the bottom on the flat before going again. Repeat that through about 5 times and that will be a fantastic workout for you. Alternatively, you could just plan yourself a hilly route and then just attack each of the hills on the route and then just recover in between those. Of course, it's a less structured workout, but you should still get a very good training benefit from that. Well, there we go. There's a whole array of different workouts for you there to get stuck into. As I've mentioned already, you can complement these with each other throughout the week, but don't do too many Zone 5 workouts within 1 week and too many Zone 3 workouts and so on and so forth. If you have any questions, please do drop them in the comments section below. And if you have enjoyed today's video, do make sure that you give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Don't forget to give GTN a follow over on social media and give a subscribe just down below.